It's the Disgusting Master Sage. I'm about to do a card reading. New Orleans cards. I'm going to have to make this quick because it is normally 120 degrees in the desert where I'm at. So, that means that I'm going to be getting so many looks and stares because I'm so beautiful with my tan that I'm not going to be able to do a long ass video. So today, I just wanted to be divinely inspired to do a card reading about what came to mind when I thought about a card reading. And I'm going to be honest. I thought I should do a card reading for the vampires. Because vampires need love too. This card reading is a message for the vampires, whom I love because you're still a being, a sentient being, made from the same fabric that we all are at some point. There is no fabric that exists outside of the original fabric. So that means I love you. And as you can see, they're walking around in the sun now. So that's good. Good for them. I'm going to do a 5-card reading with whatever message is for the vampires. Let's see. Let's see what happens. So, I'm going to pull 5 cards, but first I'm going to shuffle. Basically, that sound is when you start telling the truth, there's a resistance. But that just means that I should really do this card reading. So, hold on one second. Bo. Okay, 5 cards. Let's see. So, the first 2 cards that I laid eyes on are upside down. But if I turn it this way, they're at the end of the reading. So, I'm going to do the 3 right side up cards first. And then get to the upside down cards, even though I saw those first. So, the first card that I see, this is the reading with a message for the vampires, whom I love, because I love all sentient beings, and we all have to be sentient beings, because there is no fabric before the original fabric. It's the original, so we all came from it at some point, even if we got extremely diluted, and we're all diluted somewhat. I'm not hating, but you know they're annoying. So this is the companionship card, and if you notice, these are like fairies. And they also look like mermaids. So that really piggybacks off of what I had just said, that we are all diluted in some type of way. So it's a delusion for me to even think that I'm better than them. Because thinking that you're better than people is a sign of being diluted. Because if I was all that, I wouldn't have to have so much ego. So, we are more alike than we may seem. And, let's see. It's saying that we can all learn from each other. But the natural one, which is the one with the brown hair, is the one that's pouring into the blonde-haired fairy's cups. So that means that, to me, the more melanated people are going to be the ones to teach. And then the less melanated people will be able to recycle and pour back into the more melanated people's cups. And when I say more melanated, I'm meaning that melanin is original to this planet. And even though we're all diluted, the more melanin a person has, the more of the DNA of this planet that they have. So it's saying that we're all similar. We're not as different as we seem, yet the more melanated people are going to pour it out into the cup of the other ones first, for them to cycle through and pour back into the melanated people. I'm not sure if melanin means you're not a vampire, but that's like kind of what I feel on the inside. Like when you address your melanin, the vampirism in your DNA like goes down. But it also is saying because one of these vampires has purple wings that there's good vampires also. When you might just assume that all vampires are like bloodsuckers or whatever, it's like there's good vampires also who are a part of the cycle of life. So that's interesting. And we're all here for the babies to learn from, because it's little baby fairies in the car flying around watching the whole thing. I hope y'all can hear me. I like my raspiness, so I be trying to just pour it on thick. So we got that. That's the companionship card, and this is a message for the vampires so we can stay on track. The next card is intuition. It means that the vampires have a technology where they can see into our third eyes. Well, all they can do is see it because there's a glass between the eye and the hands. So as scary as they might make it seem about being able to be so close to your God-given intuition, it's through a barrier, and it's some type of technology. It's not real. Your third eye exists in heaven, which is somewhere that vampires cannot go. So, and it also says that vampires are quite ancient. So even the vampires that we are finding today, they're not the original vampires. The original vampires are quite ancient, and they know their purpose. So basically, we're all dealing with the 5G generation, the trap music generation, and the robot generation of things. These are not, a lot of things that we're dealing with and noticing are not original. They're not the original version. They're watered down version. Hold on one second. You gotta wait. Did y'all get the glimpse of this beautiful skyline? So, this third card is abundance. And now I have to stay focused because it's not a reading about what to do about vampires, because we're not supposed to necessarily do anything about vampires. It's about a message for the vampires. So what I see right now is a lady who is lacking melanin drinking from a cup, and the card says abundance. The vampires need to take time to meditate, because you need to connect back to who you are also. You're not being authentic. Nothing's wrong with you being who you are as long as you are being authentic. You're not being authentic. You need to take a step back, sit your ass down, and get back to the core of who you are by meditation, or whatever the vampire version of meditation is. So you guys need to meditate and get back to who you are. Drink from that cup of life again, or whatever type of drink y'all drink. But you're not being authentic, whatever your authenticity is. This is a message for the vampires in a card reading. So it's saying that what I'm gathering so far is that there's a cycle to life, and in that cycle, ups and downs happen, light and darkness happens. It's a cycle. And that's how it's supposed to be. The only thing, our job as vampires or non-vampires, or 60% vampires and 20% vampires, whatever, our job is to be authentic. No matter what you choose to do, be authentic. The sin is when you are not being authentic. Right? Now, let's get to these upside down cards. I got 2 cards that came out upside down. And this is a message for the vampires, so I'm going to take my time. The nature card is upside down. You guys are working against your own agenda, trying to get a resource that is not natural, and it's not going to help you anyway. You're wasting your time. because you're working for someone who is not going to give you what you actually need. What you actually are going to get is going to dissolve like sugar in hot water, and it's going to raise your blood pressure if you drink too much of it. You guys, you vampires, are not operating towards your higher good because you're not being authentic. You're following someone else's lead who is not aware of what you need naturally. It's like giving a dog like mashed potatoes. I don't know if that does anything for their system. They might like it, but they really need like meat and, you know, carrots. I don't know. It's a metaphor. I don't know if dogs actually need mashed potatoes, but I don't see them needing mashed potatoes. It's like somebody promising you a whole bunch of mashed potatoes and you don't really need mashed potatoes. It's like, why are you getting all these mashed potatoes for all of this energy that you're expelling? It makes sense. I know it do. So I hope you can see these cards. And I'm going to get to this last card because, like I said, the desert's hot. I'm not hot, but the desert's hot. Your girl has gotten used to the temperature. Hi. It says that the Make-A-Wish card is upside down. Let me decipher this real quick. The Make-A-Wish card is a wand on infinity. A wand that has a portal to infinity or something like that. So the Make-A-Wish card is upside down. So vampires, you're not supposed to make a wish onto reality. You're supposed to make a wish for yourself in reality. You can make whatever dream you have work, but you're not supposed to make the wish onto the outside world. You make the wish for yourself and it will affect your version of the outside world. So you can actually have exactly what you want. It's just that you're not supposed to try to put it onto outer space. It's about, this is what I want, you know, and I want to make this happen for me and my people or whatever. So the wish is not going to happen as long as you're trying to impress it on outer space, because none of us can do that. I don't think you understand that. None of us can do that. Only thing that you can do is make a lot of people believe what you're saying. So either way, it's not gonna happen. The most you can do is make people pretend it's happening, and what a waste of time is that. So this has been a card reading for the vampires. I hope that was quite enlightening, and I'm the Disgusting Master Sage. I do card readings. Contact me at capitalsages@gmail. So that's CAPITOLSAGES@gmail. And I do card readings. You know, just keep me in mind if you need some insight, and send me some money. Bye.